goals, some people have done so many cool stuffs, man. Like Jayam Ravi, who's the first person to donate stem cell in the bank. How cool is that, guys? How cool is that? Amazing. So now we are going to talk about the stem cell, how the stem cell works, how treatment is done, and what are the issues we are facing while doing the stem cell. So let's get into the boys. Let's get into the video. See you. So tired, guys. So do you know what is meant by stem cells? Stem cells are undifferentiated cells and they are totipotency in nature, which means it can differentiate into any type of cells, it can differentiate into any type of tissues, and it has a good regeneration cells. They are called as regenerative cells. So just let me give you an example. If you're playing a multiplayer game, all the players will die and they will respawn again. So the respawning time or respawning situation is called as the stem cells. So when the cells die or the cells get damaged, these cells will go and regenerate themselves. How cool and amazing it is. So based on the location of the stem cell, it is differentiated into embryonic, it is differentiated into fetus or fetal cells or umbilical cord cells and adult stem cells. Then now we are going to talk about the embryonic stem cell. Oh, you guys are back. Nice. So now I'm going to talk about the embryonic stem cell. As the name indicates, it's taken from the embryo. When it's taken from the embryo, there's a cell cycles and cell stages it goes on. First, sperm and ovum meets together, they get fertilized, they become zygote, the zygote becomes 2 cell, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8 and goes to blastocyst. During the blastocyst stage, it forms the germline called endoderm, ectoderm, mesoderm, which will form to lungs and gut, skins and blood, and nervous system and skin. So this is what the embryonic stem cell is about. This time, in this stage only, scientists can extract those blastocyst cells. Now, when you are talking about the human embryonic stem cell, it has to survive in an artificial environment. So it needs 3 factors. So let's talk about 3 factors actually. In fact, all the 3 factors are the mouse growth factor or the mouse embryonic factor. Second one is basic fibroblast factor, and the third one is the transcription factor. But the transcription factor is more useful because these transcription factors can maintain and suppress the gene activity of the stem cell. Before we talk about these factors, you should know what is factors. Factors are nothing but genes actually. These genes are extracted from a cell and they are called as factors. So let's talk about the transcription factors. As I mentioned you before, these stem cells can cause teratoma. They are multipotent cells as they can divide into many cells without any maintenance or without any control. So for example, if you want a pancreatic cell but it suddenly converts to liver cell, that's why you need a transcription factor. So the transcription factors include NANONC, OCT4 and SOX2. These factors are the only factors which really required for the human embryonic cells. We can talk about the mouse embryonic cell, but it's not much important. So let's talk about the adult stem cells. Before we talk about the adult stem cells, let me give a fact about embryonic stem cells. Embryonic stem cells have a good potential for regenerative medicines, curing many diseases and even graft, making tissues and cells or different type of cells. Let's talk about adult stem cells. It is extracted from the somatic cells and tissues. So, but the problem with the adult stem cell, it is really rare and is small in number, but it is found more in children than the adult. So that is why it is taken. That is why these stem cells are collected from the umbilical cord when the baby is delivered. That is why. The second thing, when we talk about the adult stem cell, it is mostly cured for bone marrow, for leukemia, bone marrow treatments, and bone cancers, and many stuffs like that. So these adult stem cells have the potential to become into different types of tissues and different types of organs also, like tooth enamel and new pancreatic cells and etc. and etc. So now, after talking about this adult stem cell, let's go to the treatment. Oh, you guys are back. That's really good. So let's talk about the stem cell treatment, how stem cell can cure major diseases like diabetes, leukemia, vision impairment, and her tooth and how tooth is regenerated or teeth is regenerated, baldness, and etc. and etc. and even cancer too. So let's talk about the hemopoietic stem cell treatment. Whenever I listen to this word hemopoietic stem cell treatment, all I can think about is leukemia. Generally in leukemia, the white blood cells are cancerous and they proliferate and divide more and more in number and hindrance the work of red blood cells. A patient who is suffering from leukemia undergo a normal or conventional treatment called chemotherapy. In the chemotherapy, cancer cells are destroyed, but the problem is it cannot differentiate the cancer cells and the normal cells, so it will destroy all the cells, even lymphocytes also. But in the case of stem cell, the diseased bone marrow, it is replaced by a healthy one. Here, the diseased bone marrow is removed from the iliac region and it is replaced by a healthy donor one. So here, all the cancerous cells are also removed and it is replaced by the healthy stem cells. This is how leukemia and bone marrow transplantation takes place. So let's talk about how a stem cell can cure brain damage. When a person undergoes a traumatic accident or stroke, many oligodendrocytes and neurons are lost. The previous neural stem cell will undergo cell division and it is maintains a stem cell. It will take and it will replace the lost cells. How cool is that, guys? So recently, the Harvard Medical College, they have taken the human embryonic stem cell and they have injected into a paralyzed mice. This paralyzed mice couldn't walk or do anything. But after a few months, after 4 months later, there was a improvement in the locomotion in the mice. The neurons started to form myelin sheets around them. There was a formation of oligodendrocytes. There was axons, and it established a central nervous system. And these neurons have started communication with the brain. So in this way, guys, I think stem cell is such an amazing thing, and there'll be a great scope and future ahead, guys. As I told you before, the stem cell can cure cancer. I have studied this one case study, and it's really interesting. So the Harvard Medical University, they have taken the human embryonic stem cell, and they have injected into a mice which has intracranial tumor. For the first few days, the stem cell has found its way to attack those tumor cells. It has found the site properly and it started attacking it. In the way of attack, it means it started producing its own enzymes called cytosine deaminase, which converts a non-toxic product into a chemotherapeutic agent. This is another fact I want to tell you guys, that the tumor mass cell has reduced to 81%. The researchers have claimed that if they can stop or inhibit the gene which controls the cancer stem cell, they can stop proliferating the tumor cells. How cool is that, guys? So we should think about it, and I feel that the stem cell has a huge scope and a future for treating cancers. So stem cell has done so many treatments based on vision and blindness. The first successful transplantation, the corneal stem cell transplantation, was done in 2003 by the University of Pittsburgh on a rat. And in UK, a lady got hit by an acid and she was blinded. She was blind in one eye, in a nightclub, and the doctors of UK have successfully done a corneal stem cell transplantation on our eye, and it's made its way and gave our vision properly. What the stem cells did to our eye? These thin sheets of stem cells has started communication with the previous vessels on those eye, and it made its connections. In that way, she got her vision back. So once again, guys, stem cell has proved it's really successful. So hence I'm going to conclude by saying that stem cell has made its way treating all major diseases like cancer, vision and blindness, and even in spinal cord and brain damage. Stem cell has captured 65% of the global market, and 95% it has reduced the graft rejection. So you can see that stem cell has been proving all the time. It has been successful. So thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed my video. Until then, take care. Bye bye. என்னடா
அப்படியே பேசு.
போடா.
ஏய் கட் பண்ணிக்கடா என்ட்ரன்ஸ்ல.
ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணிட்டியா?
Yes, stem cell is a controversy. Yes, of course, because the stem cell is extracted from the embryo. It's like what is leukemia? Leukemia is an cancer affected WBC.
Oh, you guys are back. Thank you. So let's talk about the stem cell treatments. The first, we'll go with stem cell chemo, blah 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 blah. Oh, you guys are back. Thanks. So let's talk about the treatment. So the first thing is stem cell.
என்னடா இதுவும் பேச
Okay.
மாட்டேன். 3டா நீ